Hello students, today we are going to look at the English Language SPM 1119-3 Paper 3 Speaking. This is the latest SPM speaking format and I am teacher Emily John who will be guiding you today. Welcome students. Today we are going to look at how to answer the speaking paper for your SPM. Okay, I'll be sharing with you some guidelines and tips so that you can understand the speaking paper well and be able to score. There will also be some sample questions for you to try out later. Let's understand the speaking test. The following diagram shows the seating arrangement when the speaking test is carried out. As you can see here, the candidates will be seated beside each other, facing the interlocutor, the teacher who will be asking the questions. The assessor will be seated at the side to observe and hear the discussion and conversation. Paper 3 speaking carries 24 marks and it is 25% of the whole SPM English language paper. This paper is divided into 3 parts and each part will be questions for both candidates. Part 1 is control short individual responses. Part 2, individual long turn with a listening candidate response question. Part 3, discussion task followed by decision question and then further discussion task. Okay, let's look at each part. The first part is the interview session where the interlocutor asks questions about familiar topics. For example, school, home, daily routines, hobbies, and others. This will be about 3 to 4 minutes and both candidates will be asked the questions. This is followed by individual long turn or part 2 where candidate A speaks for 1 to 2 minutes for a given topic. This is followed by candidate B who answers a short question on the same topic. Then they swap roles and candidate B will then answer an individual long question. Then final part is the discussion part where both the candidates will discuss a topic in pairs and must then come to a decision to answer a given question. Finally, each candidate is given a broader question on the same topic to discuss together. Now let's look at some general information about the paper. First, the paper carries 25% of the whole SPM English language paper. You will be tested in pairs. There will be 2 teachers involved in the assessment and you will be tested on 4 criteria. This will take about 13 minutes. When you talk about pairs, there is candidate A or student A and student B. And the 2 teachers are the assessor and the interlocutor. Now the interlocutor will be the teacher who is seated in front of the candidates and the assessor will be a teacher from a different school who will be listening and observing. And the 4 criteria are grammar, vocabulary, communicative competence, and overall spoken performance. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, you will be assessed on 4 criteria, which are grammar, vocabulary, communicative competence, and overall spoken performance. Where grammar is concerned, you are able to maintain a high level of accuracy. Okay, that means you do not make mistakes, right? And even if the mistakes is very mild or minor mistakes, and you are able to use a variety of structures. Okay, and you are also able to use a wide range of cohesive devices and connectors. I hope by now you understand what are cohesive devices and connectors. Okay, so for this criteria, you need to be able to know the difference when you're using subject-verb agreement, when you're using different tenses, and all that. Okay, and where vocabulary is concerned, you're able to use a wide range of vocabulary appropriately. Okay, appropriately, that means you see what you're talking about and you use the correct vocabulary, right? And you're able to convey differences in meaning by using the relevant vocabulary, okay? And for communicative competence, the candidate is able to express oneself spontaneously, can start, can maintain, can expand, and can end a conversation properly. This is especially important during the discussion part with your partner. Okay, you are able to maintain and maybe expand on the point, and you can start and end a conversation. And besides that, you can relate effectively with a partner, and your conversation is smooth, right? Overall spoken performance includes you understanding the task and questions spontaneously. Okay, when you look at the question, you know what you have to talk about, and you're able to develop and maintain interaction with your partner. So remember, the discussion requires you to have an interaction with your partner. You're not talking alone, all right? And here requires very little or no prompting. Okay, the conversation is smooth. The teacher doesn't have to interrupt and prompt the students, and they can discuss on their own and deliver their points very well. Okay, now the interlocutor will give the marks for the overall spoken performance, whereas the assessor, the teacher who is sitting at the side, is the one who's going to award marks for grammar, vocabulary, and communicative competence. All right? Now, let's look at part 1, the interview session. Now, part 1 is where you'll be given questions on personal details and personal topics. Okay, and it consists of 2 phases. Phase 1 is where the interlocutor will be asking you for personal details, your name, your age, and where you live, and all that. And phase 2 will be more personal topics or more elaborate topics like your hobby, your daily routine, about your family members, and things like that. Now here, the focus is on the ability to give factual information on yourself, talk about present circumstances, express opinions, explain and give reasons, talk about future plans, talk about past experience. This will take about 3 to 4 minutes, and you need to give a little bit of elaboration, not much, but a little bit. Okay? And most students are able to do well for this part. Okay, now let's look at some examples for part 1. Okay, question 1. Okay, as I said earlier, there are 2 phases. Phase 1, what's your name? Where do you live? And phase 2, what activities do you do after school? Do you take part in any extracurricular activities after school? What activities do you think are beneficial for teenagers? So you can see the questions are from basic to a little bit more higher. Okay, let's look at some answers. Okay, so what's your name? My name is Lina Wong Siu Lin. Now, remember, you have to answer in a proper sentence. Please do not answer in word form. What's your name? Lina. Okay? Please answer in a full sentence. Okay? My name is Lina Wong Siu Lin, but everybody calls me Lina. You can even elaborate a little bit. Oh, my name is Lina Wong Siu Lin, but my nickname is Siu Lin. Or my nickname is Lina. Okay? Now, where do you live? I live in Taman Mawar Batuat. Okay, you do not need to give your full address. Okay, all right. And what activities do you do after school? I complete my homework and have a nap. Or you want to be a little bit more elaborate? I normally have my lunch first, then I take my bath, and then I do my homework, and sometimes I have a nap. Okay, you can explain a little bit more. Now, do you take part in any extracurricular activities of the school? Okay. Yes, I do. I play badminton for the school team. Okay. What activities do you think are beneficial for teenagers? I think teenagers should exercise more and be more active. You can even elaborate on this. What do you mean by exercise more? Maybe they can exercise 2 or 3 times a week, be more active by doing outdoor sports rather than just sitting down at their computers and all that. Okay? Okay, right. Next. Okay, here's another sample question for you. As you can see in phase 1, the questions are very basic. What's your name is definitely the first question that you'll be asked. And you can be asked other basic questions like how do you come to school, what's your age, okay? And you can answer in any way you want, but try to elaborate a bit, okay? What's your name? My name is Emily. Everybody calls me M, okay? How do you come to school? I walk to school. My father sends me in the morning by car. So it depends. You can answer in whatever form that you want, but make sure that you answer in full. Okay? And phase 2, the questions are a little bit more elaborate. So what do you usually do on weekends? Weekends, Saturday, Sunday. So explain. What do you do? Okay, do you watch a lot of television on weekends? Please don't just answer yes, I do, and stop. Please elaborate. Yes, I do. I watch a lot of television on weekends because that is when I'm free most of the time. Okay, what do you normally watch on television? I normally watch Korean dramas, which are my favorite. At the moment, I'm watching, name a drama that you're watching. Okay, so that is another example. All right, then question 3 here looks again at what's your name? What class are you in? So you just name your class. I'm in 5 Chakao in SMK. Name your school then. Okay, what's your favorite food? Give us favorite food that you like. I love to eat spaghetti. That's my favorite food. Okay, what do you normally eat every day? Normally I eat rice, which is what my mom cooks for us at home. So explain. What kind of food do you like to try? Okay, this one you can be a bit more creative. What kind of food? Maybe you like to try Korean food because it's quite famous now with the Korean trend of doing things. Okay, so maybe why do you like to try it? Because it's spicy and it's very famous. Okay, so explain a little bit when you need to explain, elaborate. Okay, okay, now let's look at some examples for part 2, which is the individual long term. All right, the individual long term is part 2 of the SPM speaking paper. Okay, 2 candidates will take turns to talk about topics that are in the speaking booklet. You'll be given a booklet where you can look at the questions. Now, there will be about 4 bullet points with some ideas for each candidate to use. Okay, so candidate A will begin and candidate B will listen. As the partner is talking, they will have to listen. And then once candidate A has finished, candidate B has to answer a question related to the topic their partner has spoken about. Okay, it'll be a short question, but it's on the same topic. Okay, then candidate B will then speak on another topic for 1 to 2 minutes, and candidate A will again listen and answer a question similarly. So they take turns, okay, to present and to listen and to answer question. All right, so be very careful that you pay attention as your partner is presenting. Okay, and then the questions in part 2 will focus on the candidate's ability to give information of non-personal kind. It's a bit more elaborate, wider scope. Okay, you talk about past, present, or future experiences. Okay, you can explain and give reasons. All right, describe people, places, situations. Okay, talk about personal characteristics, objects, and activities. And you can also paraphrase words and ideas. So this part will take about 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, all right, these are sample questions. This is set 1. Okay, we're talking about a school event. Talk about a school event you had recently participated in. You should say what the event was, what you did there, if you enjoyed yourself, why or why not, what benefits the students gain from taking part in the event. Remember, these bullets are for your guide. So you have to look at it and from there, think about what you're going to say. You'll be given a short period of time to kind of like prepare yourself. Okay? So, and at the bottom there, you'll see another question. What was the last school event you took part in? What was it and what did you learn from it? This is the question that will be given to your partner. So candidate A will be presenting on a school event. Candidate B will listen and then answer that simpler question which will be given later. Okay, so let's look at a sample answer. All right, here is a sample answer. This is just a guide. Okay, you can talk about anything or any events. So as you can see here, first you have to name the event, Family Fun Day. Okay, and what you did there were many activities. So you were in charge of setting up a booth. Okay, and then you organized the books, and then you sold approximately 800 ringgit worth of books. And of course, you thoroughly enjoyed yourself. So you gave a reason that you got to meet a lot of avid book readers. You got to make money for your school. It taught you to be more responsible in handling money as well as communicate well with customers. So you have answered the 4 bullet points that was given in the question. Okay. Now, this is the simpler question that will be given to candidate B. What was the last school event you took part in? What was it? And what did you learn from it? So, the person will be talking about a mini marathon. Okay. All right. It taught you what? Taught us our strengths and weaknesses. and you learn to be happy for those who are better than we are. It's shorter and simpler, and you can say it in 1 or 2 sentences. Right? Okay, now for candidate B, all right, you'll be talking about your favorite device. So you should say what the device is, what you can do with the device, how the device helps you in your life, if you would be able to go without it for a week. If yes, why? If no, why not? And the question that will be addressed to your partner is, what is your favorite device? Can you go without it for a day? Okay, so you see a simpler question. Let's look at a sample answer. Okay, my favorite device is my tablet. Okay, and what do you do with it? You can surf the internet and play games, connect with friends and family, watch movies and listen to music, helps you to stay in touch with your friends. Okay, you have learned to draw on your tablet. Okay, and would you be able to give it up? I would not be able to give up my iPad for a day, what more a week. So you see, you have given your answer. I would not be able to give up, and then you give a reason, because I spend so much time on that. I think I'll be bored without this. Okay, so you explain why or why not. Okay. Okay, now for candidate A, the simpler question will be, what's your favorite device? Can you go without it for a day? So you say your favorite device is my smartphone. Okay, and you use it to talk to your friends all day, and it's difficult to be without your smartphone. Okay, so the answer is no, right? And no, I cannot go without my smartphone for an entire day. It's something I heavily rely on for information and communication. So you give a reason. Okay, that's how you go about it. Just a few sentences, simple questions, simple answers. All right. Okay, here I'm showing you the procedure. Okay, the interlocutor will be reading out the instruction and then place the booklet in front of you. Candidate A will start first and will present the topic to you. I'd like you to talk about an outing you had with your friends recently. First, you have some time to think about what you're going to say. So you have about maybe 20 seconds to prepare, and then you have to present your points in 1 minute. Okay. So if you are unable to do so, that's when the interlocutor will prompt you and try to help you in a way, okay? But as far as possible, try not to do that, because that will slow you down and also interrupt the flow of your presentation. Okay, and then candidate B will be asked, where was the last outing you made with your friends? Did you enjoy yourself? Why? A simpler question. Okay. All right, so let's look at set 2. This is another practice question. An outing with your friends. Okay, so where? Remember, you have to name the place. What you did there. If you enjoy yourself, why or why not? Yes or no. Give reasons. And why friends are important. Okay, and the question that will be given to your partner is, where was the last outing you made with your friends? Did you enjoy yourself? Why? I hope that you try out this question with your partners, practice with your partners, okay? And that this is the only way that you can improve, with practice. So here is a guide. So where did you went to? Maybe you can talk about going to the cinema, going for a picnic, going for an outing. Okay, what you did there. If you go to the cinema, watch a movie, then you had dinner, then maybe you went window shopping. If you enjoyed yourself, yes, enjoyed the outing because the movie was exciting, you had delicious food. Why friends are important? You can share many happy moments with them. They make you cheerful and it helps you to develop well mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Okay? Now for candidate B, a different question. I'd like you to talk about a family member you admire. Okay, you'll be given time, then you present. Okay, and then candidate A will be given a simpler question. Which family member do you admire? Why? Okay, right, let's look at that. So, who? Name your family member. What this person looks like. Maybe you can describe that. Okay, now why do you admire this family member? Give reasons. Okay, all right, and ways to show that you care for that person. Right. And then your partner, candidate A, will be given a simpler question. Which family member do you admire? Why? Let's look at how to tackle this question. All right, let's look at how we can tackle the question. First, you identify the person, who this person is. Okay, my mother. Can describe the person. Okay, what the person looks like. Tall, with shoulder length hair. Okay, you can describe a little bit more. Okay, the face and all that. Why you admire this family member? Because the person is your unsung hero, helps you with your problems, cheers you on, believes in you. Okay? Ways to show that you care: studying hard and becoming successful, helping with the household chores. All right? Okay. Okay, now we are going to part 3 discussion. Let's look at some examples. Okay, part 3 is the discussion part. All right. Here, both candidates will discuss a topic together for about 3 minutes. Right? You will be given about 1 minute to come to a decision in order to answer a given question. Okay, so after you have discussed and come to a decision, all right, then you will be given a broader question, okay, on the same topic. And this question is a hot question, okay, where you may have to like think about it and maybe like answer based on logic and give reasoning. Okay, so it's a bit higher level, right? And then you will also be asked questions which focuses on your ability to explain and give reasons. Okay, you are able to exchange information and opinions, your likes, your dislikes, your preferences, your habits. You must be able to justify. If you choose that point and you are elaborating on that point, you need to be able to expand on it, give reasons why that is your chosen point, and justify your answer. Okay, and this part of the speaking paper will be carried out in about 4 to 5 minutes. Okay. Okay, now let's look at a sample question for part 3. Here the question is, why do people shop online? As you can see here, there are 6 bullet points, and you and your partner will have to discuss on these points. You have to decide very quickly before you start which points you are going to talk on and which points your partner is going to speak about. So decide very quickly. You can decide in any order. Okay, maybe you want to take the first, the third, or the sixth, or you want to follow in clockwise. Up to you. Okay, but decide very quickly which points you are going to talk about and which points your partner is going to talk about. And then you also need to decide which is the most popular reason why people shop online. Maybe you can agree on one single point. Okay, all right. After you have finished discussing and deciding on that, you will be given a broader question based on the same topic. So here you can see in C, in what ways does advertising on social media influence people's buying behavior? So this is a little bit broader in the sense that it's a hot question. Okay, there are no points given for you. You have to think about it and then explain. So you need to understand what is advertising and how it influences people's buying behavior. Okay, now let's look at how we can tackle this question. All right, for example, this is just a suggested answer. Okay, let's say A starts, okay, by talking about time saving. So you say that it's time saving because it's very useful when you are in a hurry, okay, shopping online. And then B goes on with the next point by talking about no crowds. Okay, so you see it's not actually in order. You can jump. You can choose whichever points you want to talk about first. So if you say no crowd because you don't have to rush and compete with other people when you want to buy something which is in demand. All right, and A comes back by saying that it is convenient. You don't have to wait very long. Okay, and it gets sent to your house, so it's quite easy. Okay, and B talks about wide variety of selection. You have you can choose from various shops online, and you can also compare prices. And A says yes, you can get better prices and you may even get more discount. And B again talks about trends that go viral. No, people are not left out because they can get the thing very fast. So you can take turns by talking, or A can talk about 2 points and then pass the baton on to B. So you can decide how you're going to go about it, because this is a discussion. So you have to take turns, okay, help each other out. All right, and maybe like if your friend is weaker than you, maybe help your friend by, what do you think? Do you agree with me? Or if your friend is presenting something, you answer by saying, yes, I think it's very convenient. It makes it very easy for us to buy things. So you agree with your friend. So this is how a conversation takes place, where you will be like kind of like taking turns, answering, giving comments, giving suggestions and agreeing or disagreeing. Okay? Okay, let's look at a sample answer. I think the most famous reason for people to shop online is the convenient factor. Consequently, we don't have to waste time looking for things that we want from a physical shop. By shopping online, we can just get what we want and it will be delivered to our doorstep. So this is just one answer. Okay? Okay, this is a sample answer for C. All right. I believe social media is a platform that connects almost every people in the world. A majority of these people have purchasing power. Imagine a celebrity or an athlete endorsing a product on his or her social media account. Imagine how much money that seller is making through this way. Therefore, advertising on social media is a good investment by companies that are marketing their products. So this is a bit high level, but this is one way you can answer the question. Okay? Okay, now let's look at question 2, another sample question. Why do people travel? So as you can see here, there are 6 points. It's relaxing, it's a challenge, involves learning, support local businesses, appreciating own life, and improve relationship. So you have to decide which is the main reason for people to travel. After you discuss, you decide on one. Okay, and then the broader question is, do you agree that traveling overseas is better than spending your time at local tourist attractions? So you have to like kind of like compare. Don't just say, do you agree? Yes, I agree that, but you have to explain why you agree or why you disagree. Okay, so let's see how we can tackle this question. As you can see here, I've given you a table. So I suggest that you try out this question with your partner, discuss, okay? And you can even contact me if you need any help, or you can ask your teachers for help on how to elaborate on this, okay? Let's look at another question. This is question 3. What are ways to save money? Okay, so the question you see is something different. So here again, 6 points. Know your priorities, have a budget, buy items on sale, record expenses, enjoy free or cheap entertainment, set goals. So you can start on any one of it. You want to start on set goals first? Fine. If you want to start on record expenses first, it's okay. You and your partner decide which one you want to start on and who is going to start first and which points you are each going to cover. And then you decide which is the best way. All right? And then the broader question here, or the hot question, do you think money management should be taught in school? Here, you have to understand what do you mean by money management? Okay? All right? And then you have to explain. Okay? So I hope you try out these 3 questions with your partners, as this will really help you to practice and improve your speaking skills. Now, here are some useful words and phrases that I've taken from your textbooks, okay, that can help you in answering the speaking test paper, okay. For example, here you have in my opinion, okay, the dash here is the point that you're going to put in, helps you, in my opinion, reading helps you, what? We explain. I agree that, or I disagree that, or I disagree because, or I don't think so because, okay, from my point of view, okay, or I believe, I think, I suppose, right? Or you're talking about advantages or disadvantages. So you say the main disadvantage is, or the main advantage is, or I think I would prefer, or I think I like, for instance, or for example. Okay, and then you can even ask questions, start off your discussion by saying, what do you think about? So these are just some examples. There are many more. And of course, when your friend is presenting, you can, after that, like say something to comment on what is being said. I agree with you. Okay, I don't think so. I think I would prefer. So you go on with your point. So there is like kind of like interaction going on. It's not that you are talking, your friend is talking. It's not robotic. It's a conversation. So please take note of that. Okay. All right. Next, I would like to share some tips with you. Okay. So first, you need to be able to speak clearly. Some students, when they are not sure, they tend to mumble. They speak softly. But actually, their voice is loud. But here, because they are not confident enough, they speak softly. So speak clearly so that the examiners, the assessor, or the interlocutor can hear you clearly. Now, don't worry if you make a mistake. The important thing is you open your mouth and you speak. Don't keep quiet. Okay? Correct yourself if you can. Okay? If you made a mistake, just continue. Don't make it very obvious. Just continue speaking. If you can correct yourself, correct it and go on. Okay? And if you can't remember a word, don't stop speaking. Right? Try to use another simpler word or just continue presenting your points. Don't worry about that word. Okay? And express your opinions and give reasons for your answers. Don't just give simple answers and stop at that. Try to elaborate. Try to give examples. Try to justify your answer. Give suggestions and together with reasoning, justification for your answers. That will be a good answer. Okay? So I wish you all the best. Okay? And I hope you try out these tips and try out the practice questions with your partners. Okay? Okay, we have come to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. If you have any question, you can always contact me in the Telegram group or you can write in the comment box. I'll try to answer the question. Okay, and please do try out the practice question that I'll be sharing in the description box. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I do appreciate all the support. So good luck for your exam.